أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله Captain Nabi'een sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That is, I give open and sound witness. Nothing is worthy of worship except Allah, His one alone with our partners, associates. And I also give open and sound witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a slave servant messenger and seer of the prophets. Peace be upon the prophet, upon his descendants, upon his companions, and upon the righteous throughout the world, and peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, is all the praise due to Allah. When we give this greeting, dear beloved Muslim brothers and sisters, we are saying something that is very important. When I say important, I mean you have to understand this greeting is a reminder, right? When we understand that in this greeting, it contains some very important words. In fact, in this greeting of Assalamu alaikum, it contains one of the attributes of Allah, highly glorified as He, that is As-Salam. He is the source of peace. So when we give this greeting of Assalamu alaikum, we're saying, may the peace that comes from the source of peace be on your life. Not the peace from the world, not the peace you get from your friends, not the peace that you believe you get from the things you own or the things you possess, but the peace that flows from the one who says that's how life grows. The very nature of everything that Allah created submits to His will, therefore it is Muslim. So when we give this greeting, we're saying, reminding each other of our obligation to maintain and advance peace. And the reason why that's so important, because where there's no peace, as Frederick Douglass said, there can be no progress. So as you leave this Musala, as you go out into the world, as you leave this place of peace, and when we come to Jumu'ah, we come to an abode of peace. We come to an environment that is heavily influenced of Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. You're reminding each other, here's the prayer. I'm saying a prayer that I pray that Allah's peace be on your life. Because your soul may be troubled. You may have some financial problems. You may have some health issues. You may have some social family issues. And I'm saying that whatever you're going through, may Allah's peace be on your life. I don't know of any group of people who give that kind of greeting when we understand that may Allah's peace be on you as you go on your journey. As you move in the world, may Allah's peace be on your life. It's a troubled world out there. So here's a constant reminder that someone is saying to you, may Allah's peace be on you as you travel through all of these challenges. Domestic issues, debt issues. You know how many people are so consumed with debt they can't even function, they can't have no mental clarity, they're stressed out, worrying about bills, people are now not being paid. You look at the state of America, you look at Jersey City, you look at certain parts of Jersey City, certain parts of North, certain parts of Libya, certain parts of America and the world. It's in trouble. It's in trouble because Shaitan has been skillful in working to pull that ideal of peace out of the spirit of people. See, the mission of the devil is to take the human being out of the human body. Now, what you understand what I mean by that? The mission of the devil is to take out your love. The mission of the devil is to take out the peace. The mission of the devil is to take out the forgiveness out of the human being and then pour his influences into the human being. And then you wonder why there's a troubled world? See, when Shaitan is influencing people, you need this prayer of Assalamu alaikum. And not only is it reminding you, but it's reminding you of your obligation. Alaikum, upon you is the obligation to promote peace. Because without it, major problems in the world. So when we give this greeting, we're saying that may the peace that comes from the source of peace be on your life. It's not a how you doing, it's not a what's up. It is a real powerful greeting that comes from the source of peace. When we come to Jumu'ah, the Quran tells us when the call is proclaimed, you heard Imam Razak give this very powerful call, the Adhan. And it's a very profound call that reminds us of priority. The Quran says here, "O you believe, when the call is proclaimed to pray on Friday, the day of assembly, hasten earnestly to the remembrance of Allah and leave off all business and traffic." Profound call. And the call begins with stating who is the greatest. You hear Allahu Akbar. Who is the greatest? People had this ideal that they'd check in with Allah at another time. It's not important for me. You know, when I get a little older, I get into religion. When I get a little more older, I get into spirituality. I get a little older, I start praying unless I'm in a jam, then I begin to pray. But other than that, it's not very important. So we're reminded of who is the greatest force in our lives. So we hear Allahu Akbar. This is big. Allah is bigger than your bills. He's bigger than your challenges. He's bigger than your worries. He's the greatest force in life without doubt. The Quran says, وَذِكْرُ Akbar, and the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. See, we think on Allah, Allah said that He'll make a way for us where we thought there could never be a way. Whatever you're going through. If we submit our will to Akbar, if he is the greatest and we submit our will to him, then we begin to grow in greater degrees of our humanism. We begin to grow as great beings, not mediocre beings, not average beings, not small beings, but great beings. See, if you submit your will to the greatest, you have to be a great human being. Because he says in the Quran that he created you and gave you mastery in the earth. He created the human being and put the human being above everything. So that must be a great and special creature. And as long as we line our will up with that force, we will constantly move and grow into greater degrees of our humanism to become better. So the verse says, oh, you believe. It starts with belief. This is so important. Belief. The human being has been able to progress and change the world because of what he believed. When you change your belief, you begin to change your life. Some people say you change the way you think, but when you change what you believe in, that's why Allah says, he's al-Mu'min, he's the believer. I used to think about that Allah is the believer. I believe in Allah. But I saw one of his attributes is he says that he is the believer. Now, if he's the believer, that means that he believes in you. He believes in what he created. And he believes in the possibilities of what you can grow into. So he said he's the one who not only created you, but he believes in your power and your ability to grow and evolve and take your rightful position in the world as a ruler in his creation. So the verse says, oh, you believe. And this is a problem for people. They allow their lives to be consumed with fear, doubt, and worry. This verse says clearly that this response of this call ain't for everybody. That's why you don't see the doors busted open. Because the call, the verse says, oh, you who believe. When the call is proclaimed, let me give you what Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about Jumu'ah. Because that's what we're talking about for a minute. We talk about Jumu'ah. And why Jumu'ah is so important for your soul. Why Jumu'ah is so important for you to become a better and more effective and greater contributor to life. Muhammad the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that any man, any woman who performs the full bath, ghusl, on Friday, perfumes himself, if he have any, put on his best clothes, and go to the masjid and offer salat without harming anyone. And then he listens to the imam while the imam speaks, and then he offers the Jumu'ah salat. That person will have his sins forgiven from that Friday to the next. Did you get that? So that's why we say, thank God it's Friday. See, here's the reason, not because we got paid. See, some people say, thank God it's Friday, I got paid, I'm going to the club, I'm going out, I'm going to buy some new clothes. No, we say thank God it's Friday because we know what Friday is doing for our soul. We believe when we come to Jumu'ah, Muhammad the Prophet said that when you do those steps, that your sins from that Friday to the next, Allah said, he will forgive you. You know how significant that is? That you don't move in life with the burden of guilt. See, a lot of people move in life with the weight of guilt.